think the most attractive place right now is right over there, the Jaganath's mercy in the form of prasad. Very nice that so many persons, just repeating what Rupa said, so many persons from so many distant places came simply to honor Jaganath and to take the association of the devotees. This Jaganath Rath Yatra has a very wonderful history within Iskcon. One of the devotee children, young girl in our St. Louis congregation, about, what's her age, about 8 years old, gave me a very nice card, Rath Yatra card. And she was describing, 8-year-old girl, describing Srila Prabhupada's meditation when he was a young boy and wanted to have Rath Yatra in his neighborhood in Calcutta, because Srila Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan, his father was a Vaishnav, and so his father took his young son to Jagannath Puri to see Jaganath Rath Yatra. And his young son Abai was so moved in a spirit of devotion that he wanted very much for his father to arrange for him to have Jaganath Rath Yatra right in his neighborhood in Calcutta. And Gaur Mohan, you can only imagine, a elevated Vaishnav, hearing his small boy wanting to have his own Rath Yatra. So he was very happy. So they went to look to see for possible Rath Yatra carts. This is what this 8-year-old person in our congregation was sharing with me, in writing with diagrams, nice drawings so I could understand the story. And they went to see one cart, and the person wanted so much, too many rupees, and so his father decided no. So what did Abai do? He started to cry. He was crying and crying, and somebody passed by and saw this little boy crying and asked, "Why are you crying?" And he explained, "I want to have Jaganath Rath Yatra, but I don't have a cart. I want a cart for Jaganath Rath Yatra." She said, "I have a cart." And together, Gaur Mohan and Abai went with this lady to go see the cart, and it was very, very old and needed lots of repair. So Gaur Mohan asked, "How much?" And the price was a very reasonable price. So they took the cart home, they fixed up the cart, and Srila Prabhupada had engaged everybody. You make the prasadam, you make the garland. Even as a small boy, Prabhupada said this about himself: "I was always a leader." Even when he was a small boy, he was a leader, because it was his nature. And what was it? What was he leading people?
I'm making video.
Krishna, even as a small boy. So someone made the prasad, and someone decorated the cart, and someone led the kirtan, and Jaganath went for Rath Yatra. And that impression that a pure devotee, even as a small child, received, carried with him throughout his life. So that when he was the acharya of this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, the first major public festival that he engaged the devotees in was Jaganath Rath Yatra. So Malati can tell us about the first Jaganath Rath Yatra in San Francisco. She was directly involved in that, right? And from that, the expansion from Rath Yatra in San Francisco, London, and all of our major centers all around the world have some form of public festival. And here in St. Louis, this is our, after so many years, our first annual Jaganath Rath Yatra. And I noticed many children in the audience who were taking part in pulling the rope and dancing in the kirtan and seeing the beautiful form of Lord Jaganath. And those very same impressions that Srila Prabhupada received when he was a small boy have also been received now by all the children who participated in Jaganath Rath Yatra. And in this way, the mercy of Lord Jaganath is being passed on. This is how the awakening of Krishna consciousness takes place. Those that have bhakti, by the nature of a Vaishnava that has bhakti, they want to give as a gift. Please take it. This gift of devotion to the personality of God. It is actually something that's already within each one of us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabonoi Shravanadi, beginning with Shravana, beginning with the process of hearing. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte. Our consciousness becomes purified. The original Krishna consciousness simply awakens by the process of Shravana and following Shravana, Kirtana, and following Shravana and Kirtana, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, deity worship, and so forth. But it begins with hearing and chanting and receiving the holy name. The essence of Jaganath Rath Yatra is this kirtan. We just heard from the park official, we can speak with a loudspeaker, but our kirtan has to be not amplified because there's a wedding going on. Something like that. Softly. But we want persons to receive the mercy of Lord Jaganath. So certainly a universal way to receive the mercy of Lord Jaganath is through the prasad, at the prasadam booth. But the mercy of Lord Jaganath is also just seeing his darshan, his very, very beautiful form, joined with hearing and chanting. And remembering the mercy of Lord Jaganath that we're all the recipients of. The three of us and some others in the audience are disciples of Srila Prabhupada, so we directly receive that mercy, and you are also directly receiving that same mercy, the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by this instruction to conduct Rath Yatra festivals, as he did when he was a small boy. And may those impressions, especially amongst the young participants, stay with you and grow each year as your Krishna consciousness, as a family, grows further and further in wanting to glorify the holy name and bring the mercy of Lord Jaganath into the world. I'm looking forward to seeing an ocean of people coming next year and double ocean coming the following year. I'm sure this festival will grow and grow in popularity. So because I made reference to Malati and her experience with the first Rath Yatra in San Francisco, I'm going to invite Malati to speak. She's one of our GBC governing body commission representatives in the entire world. Takes a lot of responsibility for overseeing the standards in New Vrindavan and Detroit and places in Florida, and there's so many services, I can't list them all. Many of you know her already. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki